Hello and welcome back to week 2. I think today what I'm going to do is just let you guys watch me create, and then I'll do a voiceover with Chapter 2, The House on the Hill. The path to the village was long and treacherous, the stones slick with evening rain. Vivienne wrapped her arms around herself, shivering, though she could not tell if it was from the cold or from the emptiness gnawing in her chest. Every flicker of torchlight on the horizon felt like both salvation and danger. It was nearly night when she reached the edge of town. The cottages crouched low in the earth, their windows glowing dimly, laughter and voices spilling faintly into the dark. She lingered in the shadows, uncertain of how she might appear to the living. Her hair was matted, her gown torn, and the stitches raw and jagged across her pale skin. "Merciful heavens!" A woman's voice broke the silence. Vivienne turned startled. From the crooked lane, a figure approached, carrying a lantern. It was Minnie, a maid whose sharp tongue and sharper instincts had kept her alive longer than most. She gasped at the sight of Vivienne, her hand flying to her chest. "You poor creature! Look what's been done to you!" "Come now, don't tremble so. We'll get you safe." Vivienne tried to speak, but only a rasp emerged, half-formed syllables that sounded foreign even to her own ears. Minnie, mistaking it for pain, clicked her tongue in pity and looped her arm around her. "Come along, then. You'll not freeze to death in the street tonight." The house she led her to was grander than the cottages, a tall, brooding manor that rose above the town like a sentinel. Vivienne's breath caught as she crossed the threshold. She did not yet know why. Minnie sat her by the fire, bustling around with blankets and bread. "Dr. Frankenstein and the mistress have gone abroad, fled, they say, after the troubles. House is nearly empty but for me. You'll mend here, love. Don't you worry." Vivienne pressed the bread to her lips, though her body hardly hungered. It was the house itself that filled her with a strange familiarity and filled her with dread. She spent a fitful night before the fire and awoke at dawn to a quiet house and Minnie nowhere in sight. Upon waking, on silent feet she wandered down the hall, her steps unsteady, until she came to a grand door half ajar, a room lined with books. The study door groaned as she pushed it wider, the dim lamplight spilling across the polished wood and shadows. The scent of ink, parchment, and machine oil clung to the air as a familiar perfume of his obsession. On the desk lay scattered papers, their edges curled and brown. Vivienne lifted one carefully, her eyes tracing the careful strokes of graphite and ink, sketches of coils and wires, and a great galvanic machine that had breathed unnatural fire into her veins. More sheets revealed anatomic drawings, human figures stitched together in brutal geometry, notes of Victor's sharp hand describing voltage, resistance, and tolerance. Her chest constricted. She was both subject and experiment. She was blueprint made flesh. She turned, and there it was, the silver-framed photograph. Victor, handsome in triumph, his arm resting lightly around the waist of Elizabeth, whose smile shone radiant with the ease of living. Their wedding day. A heat surged through Vivienne, sharp and venomous. Jealousy first, then rage, then grief so deep it hollowed her. He had made her not for himself, not for love, but as a companion for another creature, an afterthought, a consolation prize for a monster. Her fingers trembled as she clutched the photograph, her nails scraping across the glass. For a moment, she imagined hurling it to the floor, watching it shatter into 1,000 silver shards. Instead, she sank into his chair, the weight of her stitched body felt folding in on itself. Her mind flickered the sudden, jarring images that were not of the tower or the fire. A village, a marketplace, the laughter of a girl, a touch on her arm, the smell of bread baking, a ring, a whispered name, then snatched away. The memories fractured, slipping through her like smoke. Was that who she had been before she had been torn from the grave? Before she had been shaped into this thing? Her eyes blurred as tears she did not know she could shed. Grief, rage, and bewilderment roared inside of her. He made me into a monster, she thought. But I am more than his machine, more than his mistake. The photograph burned cold against her chest as the fire crackled and the distant voices rose when the castle started to awake to the dawn. Thanks for hanging out with me for the week 2 of Bride of Frankenstein, The Becoming of Vivienne Stein. If you're creating along with me, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Make sure to join us in the Junk Journal Jams Facebook group. That's where we're all sharing pages, our story ideas, and cheering each other on. And when you post your own creations online, please use the hashtag #JunkJournalJams so we can see your work and feature it. I can't wait to see how you're bringing Vivienne's story to life. I'll see you next week for the next chapter.